Hello, folks, and welcome back to 3 at 3. Yesterday, we had to do it on the run with the iPhone. Today, we've got the computer, and we're in Vise, which is a forbidden island, believe it or not. And forbidden because Tito, not the vodka guy, but not the guy out of Texas that loves dogs and vodka, but Tito, the ruler of their country for years and years, chose to take this island, and because of its defensive superiority, decided to put a bunch of military bases here. So he had, like, I think 3 or 4 big, huge military bases, including a submarine base where we went today. And on that submarine base, he had it's really neat because literally from the sea, he cut in a cave, and you can drive submarines all the way into this thing. It's like out of a James Bond movie, and it's still there today. So we did an ATV tour, went on in there, checked out the battlements and, you know, where they had cannons, camouflaged cannons and everything else. Because apparently they really thought that after World War II, somebody was going to come for them. Luckily, they didn't, but they did have, of course, a pretty ugly civil war. But nonetheless, the people in the island are fabulous now. I'll just give you a very quick look, just because otherwise it'll get too noisy. But there's some of the super yachts next to us and so forth, and some of the sailboats down that way. But I'm guessing you probably didn't tune in to 3 at 3 for the views that we're lucky enough to be enjoying. So, without further delay, 6/29/2021, this is 3 at 3. Disclaimer says that you need to be aware that all investments involve risk. Intellectual property rights, well, we have registered marks, trademarks, patents, as well as copyrights on everything you're about to see. So please ask us before you use it in a commercial venue. And if it's not commercial, please feel free to share it with everybody. Thank you. Including, of course, our YouTube channel, which I'll touch on in a sec. This was the trade yesterday that we talked about on the halftime report. They were the weekly. You see that 02 before July. That means this Friday, which is, of course, leading into a holiday weekend. So this Friday, July 19 calls with the stock right at 19. So they paid 36 cents for them. We paid 40 cents because we posted up before our subscribers traded. I mean, before we traded, our subscribers traded. Anyway, SoFi, obviously a lot of upside potential, long-term. Short-term, somebody thought it would pop this week, so they bought these calls. And there you see the stock popping to 20.99. I'll call that 21 today, the day after. So it was up better than 8% at that point, I think. And we turned a 40-cent investment into $2. So that means if you had a 40-cent investment is a $40 investment per option, because every option is for 100 shares. So if you bought 10 of those, you invested $400, and today it was worth $2,000. Everybody's different as far as the size they trade and so forth. But look at that volume. Surged to 42 million shares nearly, and this slide's a few minutes old. So 42 million shares, average volume 17. You think something was going on? I do. But since these are short dated calls, I took my profit and ran. If these were calls out in August or September, I would have taken a profit and rolled them up. But in this case, they've only got days to live, folks. So that's why we traded it the way we did. And I'll show you where we put some of the money in just a second. You'd like to know more about what we do at Market Rebellion? Well, join. By all means, join. Go to marketrebellion.com/UOA. You can see all about unusual option activity, which is, of course, what the acronym UOA stands for. And you might be sitting here on this boat next year. Think of that. All you got to do is basically use a little discipline on both entries and exits, folks. I use it on both. I use it for winners and losers. As long as you exercise discipline, you can make it in this game. And we help you by pointing out where the unusual activity is, and then you decide how to trade it. I put some of the money from SoFi into this one. Kratos, KTOS, big defense play. Stock's 29.70. They're buying the July 30 calls. At the money calls. These are not 02. These are not July this week, which is 02, meaning the 2nd of July. These are regular July. So these would be the 16th, I believe, or something like that. So when you're watching one like this, you have a little longer time frame before something happens with these. But nonetheless, I think you need to be aware that this is very short-term options. And there's where Kratos is. Been as high today as 30.29, and then pulled back and is 29.38. Still like it. You've got 2.5 weeks. You decide if you'd like to entry on this bit of a pullback. Look at that volume, folks. Average volume, 1.8 million over the last 10 days. How much to trade today so far? 8.5 million. I'm a guy who likes to follow volume. I'm also a guy who thinks you should follow Market Rebellion. And how do you do that? Well, you go to our YouTube page. And on that YouTube page, you subscribe. You click that subscribe button, just like that arrow says. We're up to 19,300 subscribers. We appreciate each and every one of you. We thank you for subscribing. You get all of our videos and it costs you nothing. There is no cost. You get every single one of the videos on that site, thousands of them, for free. I don't know why you wouldn't. Just go on over and click YouTube and then type in Market Rebellion. All right, let's get to the second one. I more or less split the money into these two. CRTO or something like that. CRTO. It's $45 stock. They're buying the 47.50 calls in October. So for a stock to move $2.50 between now and October, not a heavy lift. And I buy the at the money. So I bought the 45s and I sell upside calls 1-to-1. I never do ratios. 1-to-1. Why? Because then I'm in a bull call spread, a call vertical spread, if you will. Some of you could say, you know what, if I'm bullish, I'm going to sell some out of the money puts. Go for it. Some of you with slightly more risk tolerance or less risk tolerance say, you know what, rather than just selling out of the money puts, I'm going to sell one put and buy another put and get a credit for that spread. There's a million different ways to skin the cat, folks. Once we tell you where the smart money is going and what it is betting on, an increase or a decrease in price, then you decide how to trade it. And there's the stock moving up nicely. Been as high as 46.50 today on that pop, and it was 45.85 right after I spoke about it because it was 45.17 when we identified it. Bang. Daily crypto bite. All right, what you need to know is after tomorrow, the price goes up. So if you're somebody who wants to lock in a price, somebody who's been waiting to trade crypto. Now you're seeing Bitcoin break into the upside instead of the downside, and you'd like to participate. And you think maybe you'd like to learn a little more when you're investing hard-earned money. Well, you can go to marketrebellion.com/try crypto. That's marketrebellion.com/try crypto. There, you can see all about the offerings we've got, including the chat room where we've got thousands of traders, as well as moderators and coaches and mentors in there to help people along the way. Go to marketrebellion.com/try crypto to learn more. Remember, the price goes up after tomorrow. Third and final of our 3 at 3, CPNG. Stock was a little over $45. They bought the July 45 call. So again, an upside call. I'm going to buy the at the money. So I ended up buying on the pullback here because, knock on wood, since, like I said, we give you guys the first shot. If you're a subscriber, you know that's true. We give you the first shot and then we trade it. Well, this one came back down. We were able to buy stock at 45, and now I'm writing calls against it. But they're buying these calls July, 2 weeks out, 2 weeks and 3 trading sessions, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week, and then 2 weeks out. So I like the idea of owning the stock and selling out of the money calls, just out of the money calls against it. There's that stock earlier today, making that huge spike to 44.19, and then it pulled back. So to go from basically 37.5 yesterday to spiking to 44 today, I'd say somebody's trying to cover their tracks on a big purchase that they're making and have made. And one of the smart ways to trade it, we think, is to do it with options. You have to decide what's appropriate for you. Questions? Hey, folks, if you have questions about anything that we do, send them to my Twitter account. It's at Jon Najarian. That's at JONNAJARIAN. Why? Well, because then I might get to answer them here on the program. I'm overseas right now, so not really as much into answering questions as I am into going out and having a nice cocktail and then a nice dinner with my family and friends who I'm lucky enough to be on this trip with. We're touring all of these Dalmatian islands, as many as we can hit in Croatia, and it is fabulous. I should be a spokesman for their tourism board because I think this is just a wonderful place. It's cheap, people are wonderful, and there's a lot of history here, as I said at the top of the broadcast. So sometime maybe put it on your list as a place to go. Also, if you'd like to get started trading stock, options, futures, or cryptocurrencies, go to marketrebellion.com/get started. That is marketrebellion.com/get started. All right, I'm going to leave you guys with another view of the harbor here. And I hope you have a great day wherever you are. Sorry about the wind, but that's what happens at about 6:30 every night. Bang! Have a good one. See you tomorrow.